Hi, health seekers. This is Colin Makwala. I'm behind cameras today. Here I have another son of mine. Promise you, we are gonna have fun. He's got news for you. In COVID days, during those days, yes, I was with this boy for about 7 months. So you can imagine. So sitting with Master G around that time, a lot can happen. So you're going to hear about his personal life. He's going to be talking also about how he actually changed everything so that he end up where he is. He's working as a call center agent, but also he has started his own gym by his house. So, yeah, we can't wait to hear from him. His name is Reabetsoe Motaung. Let's hear it from him. Mr. Ria, the ball is yours. First, tell us. Uh, About the personal life. Let's talk about personal life. As you were growing up, take it from there. What are challenges that you came across?
Okay, I grew up in Kachevo. So most challenges that we come across would be mostly out of your own control. The infrastructure or the environment was not supportive of dreams that one would have. So you have to eventually learn to create something for yourself or create yourself. Say I grew up into enjoying sport or wanting to be a part of a sport, and I had to eventually grow into doing something that would bring me closer to those practices of sports. So just to put it mildly, those were some of the challenges coming to understand, coming to terms with how life was, coming from wherever you are, of your environment having an influence on how you perceive the world. Locally, I played cricket. There was no official team. I played some soccer, and later in my teen years, I played a sport called debate, which would be identified as dodgeball. And I also had interest in running. However, running was more into your sprinting. It was just an interest then. I did a little bit of training. However, it was just for training purposes to get an understanding what it was like to be in a position where you would train for something of that sort. And I knew Papa Gordon through my mother, and she was then able to bring us together and able to interact with him, and he was able to take me in and show me the ropes of the fitness world. And even though we are not done, still in our own process. But yeah, that's how it began with my mom being Gordon's client. My experience with Papa Gordon, the experience was life changing, and it was a very unique experience which was mind opening and instilled some values that I never understood. So the experience was challenging, of course, because I had to unlearn a few old habits that were not worth my time or worth it. And I came to learn and realize certain new ways which were fruitful. First, Papa Gordon, through the COVID period, about the outbreak, I came to live with him for from May up until November. He became a father to me, like I refer to him. He taught me a lot about how to carry yourself, how to conduct yourself as a man, and how to find value in others. And got to learn a lot, apart from just fitness and health. We also did a lot of projects on the side of construction. We built stuff, tables. I mean, we built things from out of thin air into something that could earn us a good plate on the table. So it was very illuminating to be a part of his lifestyle, a part of who he is, a part of how he operates. And throughout, it was constantly growing, constantly learning, and there was always something new to know in terms of how to treat yourself, how to treat others, and how to govern yourself as a man in a world where so much is just available and destructive. So yeah, within that 7 months, I learned a lot. We did a lot of work together, and at some point, I wouldn't even. Well, I stopped living at home, and I lived with him. And where we lived, we would also move from time to time, doing different projects. Uh, Plus, in that time where COVID was an outbreak, we had to find other means of income as businesses were closing down. Your training facilities would stop, and we had to figure out how to continue with life. Also had the chance to evaluate what would be important for me or what would matter to me, yeah, as an individual going on. So he taught me from personal training point of view how to train, why you need to train that particular way. And he gave me insights into how to build something out of nothing. And we found ourselves in Lowry. We are submerged into construction activities. We did a lot of tiling work. We did some building, bricklaying. So we did a variety of activities in learning. For me, it was all learning, whereas for him, it was a livelihood that he had, and it was a very it was a experience that I've never had with anyone, whereby someone would share a part of their lives with Nina, and then showing me how everything worked in their world or in their understanding, and bring me to a same mind of understanding. And at that time, my main goal, Nelore, just to finish a personal training course. So I got to understand, no, it's not necessarily all about the finishing, but you have to do things right, and you have to know from training someone who's just plain skinny or someone who's plain big. How do you approach both body types? How do you approach different people? So it was a very educational period of my experience in that recording. Yeah, as I said, from the way we ate, the way we operated, how we end our living changed when it came to fitness. There were principles that you have to follow, and if you understand how those principles work, building a program or a physiology, everything works on repetition and proper executions, and how certain body movements affect which body parts. Those were eye-opening, and they changed how I saw fitness, because with the learning I was consuming at the time, it was all distance learning. So I needed some guidance for how things needed to happen and why they needed to happen a certain way. So now even the movement, there was a purpose to it. It wasn't just because somebody wanted to lose a weight or wanted to gain a muscle, but there was a proper execution to it to also minimize any possible injuries, considering this person only lifestyle e jwang, who affected livelihood ya hae e jwang, o tlwaetse go etsa eng, and then maybe the past conditions, o kile a kula, o kile a lemala, and considering all those and into building program e leng hore kaosane ha imetse a be weak, imetse a be stronger. So he instilled some of those, most of, in fact, I would say all the principles they leng hore do guide into building a healing program instead of a program e leng hore it would just have maybe a solo point ya hore motho a hole in maybe size or a in body, but also hore e mo thusa hore mmele wa hae ka osane ebe mmele e leng hore wa mo sebeletsa, so this body could learn how to heal itself because it also came to a point there, nutrition, which was a very, very, very big part, and that changed. That was a big factor because even with my past learning, everything was just based on what to do physically for the program, how to execute exercises. But then the nutritional aspect, it made things a lot clearer, and you could start seeing more progress much easier. Everything you are in fitness, tshwantse align, the way you eat needs to be a certain way. You can't eat junk food and expect to have golden results. If you eat junk, you get junk results. So yeah, I got to understand Intrepelong already on a wider scale, and those were some of the things in that teaching I was lacking, and he was helping me through with getting that certification. Ke kopa leboha haholo ntate Kodene, ke lebohele batho ba ileng hore ba mo tsamaisitse tsela ya hore kajeno le mohlang o lalang amohela hore a tlo nruta le nna ke kgone hore ka le leng la matsatsi o tshwana le kajeno ka kgona ho thusa motho o mong ka ntho e itseng bophelong e leng hore ke ithutile yena. And ska ba bang ba mmona le master, nna ke a hana ke ntate motho ona o hodisa setjhaba. Di-master di etsa ho hong, empa e a etsang wa hodisa, and ka tsela e leng hore o hodisa ka yona, ke a tshepa hore le wena mo leng o ka kgona hore o tshelle motho o mong knowledge, information, and a kgona hore le yena e be motho e leng hore o fetola bophelo ba hae. Ke lebohe haholo hore ke be part ya bana ba ntate Gordon. Le wena o ntse o shebile e le hore o tlo ba le kgahleho, o motjha kapa motho a tlwaetseng, batho ba tshwanang le bo ntate Gordon ha ba tholahale. Ke bona ba bitsang ka di-true life gems, because o ka se ye ho yena wa tswa o sa ithuta next kapa o sena ntho e leng hore wa enka e na le molemo bophelong ba hao.